Hello everyone, we are from Group 9 and today's presentation about Chapter 9, Language Choice and Language Learning. I'm Natasha Viva as the first speaker and the second speaker Aulia Alawiyah and the last speaker is Debbie Priscilla. About the content in this chapter, the first one is Introduction, second pattern of the first language used in foreign language classroom, the third dynamics of language choice and use, fourth taking responsibility, making choice, and the last is summary. Now we move to the first subchapter. It's introduction. There are two subchapters in here. The first one is language choice and language learning. So in this chapter, consider issues around the use of the foreign and first language in the classroom. We look at the evidence from the real classroom and how we might interpret what has been found. We also examine this evidence in some detail to look for patterns in the type of activities that each language uses for and see how teacher and pupil switch between language in classroom activities. About the rest in this chapter will be developed to exploring how those principles translate into action. And the second subtopic, target language only. Policies that insist on target language only, that all foreign language lessons should be conducted in the foreign language, are usually justified in terms of maximizing learner exposure to the language and their learning opportunities. Meaning that the more language the people hear will be the more they will learn. If they do not hear foreign language outside classroom, then the children should hear as much as possible when they are in the class. So the second topic about pattern of first language use in the foreign classroom. First one, evidence about first language. So the study in here was from Pennington's 1995. For 8 teachers showed that their use of mother tongue varied for almost none of almost whole lesson. The lesson carried out in the first language and the core of language content carried out in the foreign language. For the function of the use of foreign language that we were found in the research classroom below, you can see that teacher used of the first language, the approaches to explaining aspect of the foreign language, disciplining and control, giving instruction, focusing pupils' attention, testing, giving feedback, informal, friendly talk with pupils. And from pupil side, pupil asking for help from teacher or peers and also responding to teacher question. The second, interpreting patterns of first language use. The first one, choice of language as compensatory or strategic. Pennington makes a distinction between compensatory and strategic use of two languages available to teacher. I'm sorry for the repeat. So, in choosing to use a shared first language, teacher may compensate for problems that they perceive with their pupils, language level of ability, or with discipline and motivation. For the strategic motivation that Pennington suggests are to link to create and maintaining level of formality and informality in classroom discourse and to constructing also controlling lesson and behavior. You can also note that so-called compensatory use of first language are based on perceived problems. Or in other words, they may or may not be real problems and they may be more or less serious than they are perceived not to be. The second, interpersonal factor in language choice. So, according to Gilman, 1990, one way to think of interpersonal factor is as a combination of 3 sub-factors. The first sub-factor is alignment. The choice of first or foreign language for particular function can convey to pupils a sense of how much their teacher is on their side, or you can say that alternatively wish to distance him or herself from the pupil's concern. Note that if the teacher used the first language in foreign language classroom, she or he may thereby create a feeling of being aligned with pupil. If the teacher used foreign language, this may emphasize the distance between pupils. Second is emphasis. The use of first language to control and discipline may underline the seriousness of the offense, while using foreign language may de-emphasize the importance and thus work only for less serious problems. And the last is evaluation. A teacher who uses foreign language only for content and lesson and not for the purpose reinforce the idea that foreign language just rather than a means for communication, subject study. In-term application. So in here, in-term application is interpreting and changing pattern of language choicism. We have to consider individuals as acting within layers and scales of action and history. The second point, when teaching children with very low level of foreign language, as will often be the case with young learners, the use if the first language may seem unavoidable. And however, there are several reasons why I still question this conclusion. The first one, convention and accepted values is an education system may mean language choice is no longer questioned or challenged. Question and challenge. And the possibility that low-level people can use more foreign language is not considered. The second point, so-called low-level learners may struggle with the written text that they were taught through and assessed on, but with spoken might not very low. And the last, before adolescence, learners are less inhibited about using foreign language lesson, and although they don't know much of the foreign language, they may be willing to use what they have tried to communicate. I think that's all for my part, and we will